Beijing clearance, Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Ready to copy IFR to Shanghai Pudong with information Lima.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, Beijing delivery. Thanks for Lima. Expect runway 36 right, Delta 5 Yankee departure. Squawk 0562.
Expect runway 36 right, LQ 5 Yankee departure. Squawk 0562. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy.
Negative, Squawk 0562.
Squawk 0562.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, read back correct. Contact ground 121.81 ready for pushback or engine start.
Contact ground 121.81 ready for pushback or engine start. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy.
China Eastern 5112 Heavy, gate 215, request pushback.
China Eastern 5112 Heavy, Beijing ground, pushback approved. Face south.
Pushback approved, face south, China Eastern 5112 Heavy. China Eastern 5112 Heavy, taxi for departure.
China Eastern 5112 Heavy, runway 36 right taxi via Zulu 3, Mike 7, Foxtrot, Foxtrot 7, Whiskey 0.
Alright, we'll taxi to runway 36 right via Zulu 3, Mike 7, Foxtrot, Foxtrot 7, Whiskey 0, China Eastern.
Pre-flight checklist.
Heavy.
Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Tested 100%. Flight instruments.
Heading 271 altimeter 2992.
Heading 271. Altimeter 2992. Parking brake.
Set.
Fuel control switches.
Cutoff.
Pre-flight checklist completed.
Thank you. Are you ready for the departure brief?
Go ahead.
Okay. It's going to be a standard pushback and start off the gate. Taxi route will be as assigned by ATC. It'll be a left seat takeoff using derated thrust. Planning a flaps 5 takeoff. We will configure for a non-standard bleeds off takeoff. Anti-ice will be off. Standard reject actions to V1 as briefed. From V1, or if the call is continue, I will continue the takeoff as per the standard company procedures. The engine out procedure today is as per the chart. We are under our maximum landing weight, so we are okay to make an immediate return. Okay, all going well. The departure routing will be via the ATC assigned SID, complying with all published speed and altitude restrictions. No noise abatement procedures required. LNAP and VNAV are armed. Flight directors are on. Navigation radios are set. The NOTAMs and the aircraft defect log have been reviewed. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
No questions.
Departure brief complete. Before start checklist.
Before start checklist. Supernumerary signs. On MCP.
V2200 heading 270 altitude. Flight level 401.
Takeoff speeds. Recall.
V1136 VR137 V2153.
CDU preflight.
Completed.
Completed. Trim.
3.0 units 0 and 0.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Beacon. On before start checklist completed.
Thank you.
Beijing ground, ready for pushback and start. Air China Freight 1042.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, Beijing ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face west.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face west. Air China Freight 1042.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight tech.
We will be ready shortly.
Roger.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight tech.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released.
Pushing back.
Over to tower 118.5. China Eastern.
Start sequence is right then left.
Checked.
Start right engine.
Oil pressure.
You are clear behind, and you can start your engines at your discretion.
Start left engine.
Pushback complete. Set parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes set.
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is
pressure.
disconnected and the equipment is clear. We will see you on the right-hand side with the pin.
Thanks, and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks. Have a good flight. See you later.
Beijing ground, Air China, freight 1042 heavy. Request taxi to act. Beijing ground, Air China, freight 1042 heavy. Request taxi to act.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, runway 36 right taxi via Hotel 5, Golf, Echo 0.
Runway 36 right, taxi via Hotel 5, Golf, Echo 0. Air China, freight 1042 heavy.
Negative. Clarify departure runway 36 right.
Departure runway 36 right.
Before taxi checklist,
Before taxi checklist. Anti-ice. Engine anti-ice auto. Recall. Checked. Auto brake. RTO. Flight controls.
checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist completed.
Thank you. Clear left.
Clear right.
Air China 1303 Heavy, at gate 221, request pushback and engine start. Air China 1303 Heavy, Beijing ground, pushback approved. Face south. Pushback approved, face south, Air China 1303 Heavy.
Before takeoff checklist,
Before takeoff checklist. Flaps.
checklist complete. Flaps 5.
Before takeoff checklist completed.
Thank you.
active.
Air China 1303 Heavy, runway 36 right taxi via Zulu 3, Mike 7, Foxtrot, Whiskey 0. China 31042 Heavy, contact Beijing Tower 118.5.
Contact Beijing Tower 118.5. Air China 31042. Beijing Tower, Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, holding short, runway 36 right.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, Beijing Tower, runway 36 right, clear for takeoff.
Runway 36 right, clear for takeoff. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy.
Clear for takeoff.
Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff.
Okay, Captain. Cabin crew is seated for takeoff. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Air China Cargo Flight 1042, where the only thing flying higher than our plane is the captain's ego. We're about to take off, so please ensure your seatbelts are fastened, your seats are in the upright position, and your expectations are lower. Let's hope the captain remembers which way is up.
Set takeoff thrust.
Thrust set.
Clear for takeoff.
$80 knots. V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Flaps up.
Flaps up.
After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear. Up. Flaps. Up. After takeoff checklist completed.
China Freight 1042 Heavy, Beijing departure. Identify. Climb to flight level 190. Air China 1303 Heavy, day 700 feet.
Set altimeter to standard.
Standard set and cross-checked.
303 Heavy, Beijing departure. Identify. Climb to 10,000 feet. Climb to 10,000 feet. Air China 1303 Heavy. China Freight 1042 Heavy, Beijing control. Radar contact. Climb to flight level 401. Philippine 358 Heavy, Beijing control. Expect handoff 7 X-ray. Runway 36 left.
Expect above 7 X-ray, runway 36 left, Philippine 358 Heavy.
Air China 1290, contact capital approach 126.1.
Contact Capital approach 126.1. Air China 1290.
China 76712 Heavy. You were assigned flight level 150. I show you at flight level 139er. Climb to flight level 150.
Roger. Climb to flight level 150. China 76712 Heavy.
Air China 2854. Beijing Control. Expect on deck tree hotel. Runway 16 left. Expect on deck tree hotel. Runway 16 left. Air China 2854. Philippine 358 Heavy, Box 7 X-ray, runway 36 left. Report ready for descent.
Box 73, runway 36 left, ready for descent. Philippine 358 Heavy.
Philippine 358 Heavy, descend to flight level 177.
Descend to flight level 177, Philippine 358 Heavy.
Philippine 358 Heavy, descend to 7,900 feet, QNH 09er.
Descend to 7,900 feet, VN 09er, Philippine 358 Heavy.
Air China 1502 Heavy, Beijing Control. Expect outbox 7 X-ray, runway 01. Expect outbox 7 X-ray, runway 01. Air China 1502 Heavy. Beijing Control, Hainan 7806 Heavy, good day. Descending via Ambox 7 X-ray, flight level 170. Hainan 7806 Heavy, Beijing Control, identified. Beijing Control, Air China 1303 Heavy, good day, passing 7,000 feet for 10,000 feet. Air China 1303 Heavy, Beijing Control, good day, radar contact, climb to flight level 130. Climb to flight level 130, Air China 1303 Heavy. Air China 2846, contact Tianjin, approach 127.9er.
Contact Tianjin, approach 127.9er, Air China 2846.
Good day, Beijing Control, Zheongjie 1390. Descending via of box 7 X-ray, flight level 182.
Xiangjian 1390, Beijing Control, radar contact. China Eastern 5109, contact capital, approach 120.2.
Contact capital, approach 120.2, China Eastern 5109.
Air China 8655, Beijing Control. Expect landing 01 Alpha, runway 05.
Expect landing 01 Alpha, runway 05, Air China 8655.
Air China 1502 Heavy, Embark 7 X-ray, runway 01. Report ready for descent. Embark 7 X-ray, runway 01, ready for descent. Air China 1502 Heavy. Air China 1502 Heavy, descend to flight level 177. Descend to flight level 177. Air China 1502 Heavy. Air China 1502 Heavy, descend to flight level 150. Descend to flight level 150. Air China 1502 Heavy. Air China 1502 Heavy, descend to 7,900 feet, QNH 09er. Descend to 7,900 feet, QNH 09er. Air China 1502 Heavy. Philippine 358 Heavy, contact capital approach 126.1.
Contact capital approach 126.1, Philippine 358 Heavy.
Air China 8655, landing 01 Alpha, runway 05. Report ready for descent.
Landing 01 Alpha, runway 05, ready for descent. Air China 8655.
Air China 8655, descend to 2,400 feet, QNH1013.
Descend to 2,400 feet. Air China 8655.
Air China 8655, contact landing approach 121.25.
Contact landing approach 121.25. Air China 8655.
Beijing Control, Shanghai Air 9116, flight level 250.
Shanghai Air 9116, Beijing Control, identified. Shanghai Air 9116, contact Nanchang Control 120.5.
Contact Nanchang Control 120.5, Shanghai Air 9116.
China 73106 Heavy, you are assigned flight level 150. I show you at flight level 139. Climb to flight level 150.
Roger, climb to flight level 150. China Southern 3106 Heavy.
Air China 1303 Heavy, you are assigned flight level 130. I show you at flight level 140. Descend to flight level 130.
New code. Descend to flight level 130, Air China 1303 Heavy.
China United 2395, Beijing Control, expect order 01 Alpha, runway 13.
Expect Odo 01 Alpha, runway 13, China United 2395.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, contact Nanchang Control 120.5, bye-bye.
Center on 120.5, Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Nanchang Control, Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Good day. Through flight level 388 for flight level 401.
1,000 to go.
Check.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Nanchang Control. Identified. Shenzhen 9297, non-China control. Expect radar vectors. ILS Yankee, runway 05. Expect radar vectors. ILS Yankee, runway 05. Shenzhen Air 9297. China Southern 6205. Turn right, heading 215. Turn right, heading 215. China Southern 6205. Non-China control. China Eastern 5112 heavy, 11,000 feet. China Eastern 5112 heavy, non-China control, identified. China Southern 6205, climb to flight level 230, vectors for Taoxian. Climb to flight level 230, China Southern 6205. Shenzhen Air 9297, radar vectors, height of Yankee, runway 05. Report ready for descent. Radar vectors, ILS Yankee runway 05, ready for descent. Shenzhen Air 9297. Shenzhen Air 9297, Laishan Airport landing, runway 22. Laishan Airport, landing runway 22. Shenzhen Air 9297. Shenzhen Air 9297, contact Yantai approach 119.875. Contact Yantai approach 119.875. Shenzhen Air 9297. China Eastern 5111 Heavy. Contact Beijing Control 120.35. Contact Beijing Control 120.35. China Eastern 5111 Heavy. Bye-bye. China Southern 5128. Contact Shanghai Approach 120.3. Contact Shanghai Approach 120.3. China Southern 5128. Echelon 6941. Contact Shanghai Approach 120.3.
Contact Shanghai Approach 120.3, SI16941.
Shandong 2121. Contact Beijing Control 120.35.
Contact Beijing Control 120.35. Shandong 2121.
China Eastern 9727. Non-Chong Control. Expect station 901 Alpha. Runway 35 left. Expect station 901 Alpha. Runway 35 left. China Eastern 9727. Air China 8326. You were assigned flight level 225. I show you at flight level 214. Climb to flight level 225. Roger. Climb to flight level 225. Air China 8326. Air Junior 1392. Non-Chong Control. Expect them at 901 Alpha. Runway 34 right.
Expect Dumit 901 Alpha. Runway 34 right. Air Junior 1392.
Air Junior 1392. Contact Shanghai approach 121.1.
Contact Shanghai approach 121.1. Air Junyao 1392.
China Eastern 728, contact Shanghai approach 121.1. Contact Shanghai approach 121.1, China Eastern 728. China Eastern 9727, you were assigned flight level 300. I show you at flight level 289er. Climb to flight level 300. Wilco, climb to flight level 300, China Eastern 9727. Nonchang Control, Shanghai Air 9132, flight level 200. Shanghai Air 9132, Nonchang Control, radar contact. United Eagle 1839, turn right, heading 215, climb to flight level 138.
Turn right, heading 215. Climb to flight level 138, United Eagle 1839.
Bohemia 246, contact Shanghai approach 120.3. Contact Shanghai approach 120.3, Bohemia 246.
Nonchang Control, China Eastern 6161. Good day. Flight level 140.
China Eastern 6161, Nonchang Control, radar contact. China Southern 6725, you were assigned flight level 150. I show you at flight level 160. Descend to flight level 150. Wilco, descend to flight level 150. China Southern 6725. China Eastern 9727, station 901 Alpha, runway 35 left. Report ready for descent. Station 901 Alpha, runway 35 left, ready for descent. China Eastern 9727. China Eastern 9727, descend to flight level 157. Descend to flight level 157, China Eastern 9727.
Recall,
Are you ready for the approach brief?
okay.
The arrival routing will be via the ATC assigned star, complying with all published speed and altitude restrictions. For an ILS approach, planning a flaps 30 landing. Final approach fix altitude is 1,800 feet. Decision altitude is 212 feet. Taxi route in will be as assigned by ATC. We'll be arriving at a gate. We'll use the APU, but please delay the start until my command, as we have a long taxi in. Descent speeds and navigation radios are set. Airport NOTAMs have been reviewed. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
No questions.
Approach brief complete.
Turn right, heading 225, airstream 8852.
Descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Recall, checked. Notes, checked. Auto brake. 1. Landing data.
VREF 137 knots. Minimums 212 feet. Barrow.
VREF 137 knots. Minimums 212 feet. Barrow. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist completed.
Thank you.
Airspring at 850, climb to flight level 230, vectors for Pudong.
At your 2 o'clock, about 10 miles out, you'll see the Yangtze River. It's the longest river in Asia and the third longest in the world, stretching over 3,900 miles. The river has been a vital waterway for trade and transport for centuries, and it's home to the famous Three Gorges, which are stunning to see from the air. Legend has it that the river is inhabited by a dragon, which is said to protect the waters and the people living along its banks. So, keep an eye out for that dragon.
Trend Jade 1332, non-tron control. Expect small 11 Alpha, runway 21.
Expect Pimo 11 Alpha, runway 21, trend Jade 1332.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, non-tron control. Expect radar vectors. ILS Yankee runway 35 left.
Expect radar vectors, Air China.
Air China 922, contact Shanghai approach 121.1.
Contact Shanghai approach 121.1, Air China 922.
China Eastern 5600, contact Shanghai approach 120.3.
Contact Shanghai approach 120.3, China Eastern 5600.
Shandong 4085, you were assigned flight level 160. I show you at flight level 149er. Climb to flight level 160. Wilco, climb to flight level 160. Shandong 4085. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, radar vectors. ILS Yankee runway 35 left. Report ready for descent.
Ready for descent. Air China.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, Pudong landing runway 35 left.
Pudong landing.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, descend to flight level 370.
Descent to flight level 370.
Trend J1332, contact Luxy approach 119.45.
Contact Waxy approach 119.45, trend Jade 1332. Non-Chong control, China Eastern 2747. Good day, flight level 120.
China Eastern 2747, non-Chong control, identified.
Is there any interesting sceneries over here?
At our 1 o'clock, about 10 miles out, you can see the beautiful Yangtze River winding its way through the landscape. This river is not only the longest in Asia, but also the third longest in the world, stretching over 3,900 miles. It's been a crucial waterway for trade and transport for centuries. The river is famous for its stunning 3 gorges, which are breathtaking from the air. Legend has it that a dragon inhabits these waters, set to protect the river and the people living along its banks. So, keep an eye out for that dragon.
Hey, Janet, we're starting to descend.
Okay, Captain. I'll let the crew know we're starting to descend.
Air traffic control, Air China freight 104, descending to
Hainan 7725 Heavy, non-ground control. Expect Anon Manor 1 Alpha, runway 35 left.
Expect Anong Niner 1 Alpha, runway 35 left, Hainan 7725 Heavy.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, descend to flight level 250.
descend to flight level 250, Air China freight 104.
Negative, descend to flight level 250.
Descend to flight level 250.
Air Spring 8716, you are assigned flight level 350. I show you at flight level 339. Climb to flight level 350.
Roger. Climb to flight level 350, Airspring 8716.
Hey, Sarah, what's the big lake at our 1 o'clock?
At our 1 o'clock, about 10 miles out, you'll see the beautiful Taihu Lake. It's one of the largest freshwater lakes in China, covering around 242 square miles. The lake is famous for its stunning scenery and is a popular spot for fishing and boating. Legend has it that the lake is home to a giant turtle that brings good luck to fishermen. So, if you see any fishermen out there, they might just be hoping for a visit from that lucky turtle.
Hey, Sarah, what's the city look like?
We're currently flying over Wuxi, a city known for its beautiful Taihu Lake and rich history in silk production. It's a great place for some stunning views.
Hey, Sarah, can you tell me more about this?
I'm sorry, but I can't provide information about Ushi. However, if you have any other questions about landmarks or sites we're flying over, feel free to ask.
China Eastern 9727. Descend to 9,000 feet. QNH 1008. Descend to 9,000 feet. QNH 1008. China Eastern 9727. Shanghai Air 9310. Non-tron control. Expect Anon Manor 1 Alpha. Runway 35 left. Expect Anon Manor 1 Alpha. Runway 35 left. Shanghai Air 9310. Nanchan Control. 日本カーゴ225ヘビー。フライトレベル317。Nippon Cargo 225 Heavy, non-tron control, good day, identified, continue climb to flight level 380. Continue climb to flight level 380, Nippon Cargo 225 Heavy. Cathay 360 Heavy, you are assigned flight level 330. I show you at flight level 320. Climb to flight level 330. Local, climb to flight level 330. Cathay 360 Heavy. Thai 664 Heavy, non-tron control. Expect Anon Manor 1 Alpha, runway 35 left. Expect Anon 901 Alpha, runway 35 left, Thai 664 Heavy. Shanghai Air 854, non-tron control. Expect Anon 901 Alpha, runway 35 left.
Expect Anon 901 Alpha, runway 35 left, Shanghai Air 854. Non-tron control, Shenzhen Air 9579, good day, flight level 190.
Shenzhen Air 9579, non-tron control, identified. China Eastern 9727, contact Shanghai approach 120.3. Contact Shanghai approach 120.3, China Eastern 9727. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, descend to 1,000 feet, QNH 1008. Hainan 7725 Heavy, Anon 1 Alpha, runway 35 left. Report ready for descent.
Anon 901 Alpha, runway 35 left, ready for descent. Hainan 7725 Heavy.
Hainan 7725 Heavy, descend to 9,800 feet, QNH 1008.
Descend to 9,800 feet, Hainan 7725 Heavy.
Sarah, anything interesting coming?
At our 1 o'clock, about 10 miles out, you can see the beautiful Taihu Lake. It's one of the largest freshwater lakes in China, covering around 242 square miles. The lake is famous for its stunning scenery, and is a popular spot for fishing and boating. Legend has it that the lake is home to a giant turtle that brings good luck to
Air
fishermen.
China Freight
So, if you
1042
see any
heavy.
fishermen out
Turn
there,
left,
they might
heading
just be hoping for a
135,
visit from that
vector
lucky
for the
turtle.
approach. China Eastern 6340. Montreal control. Expect Pudong 21 Alpha. Runway 36 right. Expect Pudong 21 Alpha. Runway 36 right. China Eastern 6340. Shanghai Air 9116. Montreal control. Expect Station 21 Alpha. Runway 36 right.
Expect Station 21 Alpha, runway 36 right, Shanghai Air 9116.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Contact Shanghai approach 120.3.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy Shanghai approach, QNH 1008 expect radar vectors for ILS Yankee runway 35 left. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, turn left, heading 135, descend to 6,000 feet. Negative, descend to 6,000 feet. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, turn right, heading 045. Expect further clearance in about 47 miles. China Eastern 5600, contact Pudong Tower 118.8. Contact Tower 118.8, China Eastern 5600, have a good afternoon. China Eastern 9727, cleared direct PD 401, cross PD 401 at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS Zulu runway 35 left.
Clear direct PD 401, cross PD 401 at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS Zulu runway 35 left, China Eastern 9727.
China Eastern 9727, contact Pudong Tower 118.8.
Over to Tower 118.8, China Eastern 9727.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, turn right, heading 135.
Turn right,
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, turn right, heading
Transition
190.
level.
turn right, heading 190, Air China 1042 Heavy.
Negative, turn right, heading 190.
Turn right, heading 190.
Negative, turn right, heading 190.
10,000.
Turn right, heading 190, Air China Freight 1042 Heavy.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, turn left, heading 135.
Turn left, heading 135, Air China
355. Air China Freight 1042
Set altimeter to
Heavy, descend to 5,000 feet.
1008.
1008. Set and cross-check.
descend to 5,000 feet, Air China Freight 1042 Heavy.
5,000
1,000 to go.
Check. Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Altimeters.
1008. Set.
1008. Set. Approach checklist completed.
Thank you. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, descend to 4,000 feet.
Descent to 4,000 feet. Air China Freight 1042 heavy.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, turn left, heading 085.
Turn left, heading 085. Air China Freight 1042.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, turn left, heading 020, intercept the 35 left localizer.
Turn left, heading 020.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, descend to 3,000 feet.
Descent to 3,000 feet.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, 3 miles from CI-35L, turn left, heading 345, maintain 3,000 feet until established on the final approach course, cleared ILS Yankee runway 35 left.
Turn left, heading 345. Air China Freight 1042.
Gear down. Flaps 20.
Gear down. Flaps 20.
Bohemia 246, contact Pudong Tower 118.8.
Contact Tower 118.8, Bohemia 246.
Air China Freight
Flaps 30.
1042 Heavy,
Flaps 30.
contact Pudong Tower 118.8.
Contact Tower 118.8. Air China Freight 1042. Tower, Air China Freight 1042.
Checklist complete.
Runway 35 left.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy, Pudong Tower, continue.
Radar altimeter alive.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down.
Flaps.
Flaps 30.
Landing checklist completed.
Thank you.
Captain, prepare for landing.
Whiskey.
Okay, Captain. Preparing for landing. Ladies and gentlemen,
Airport information
this is your
whiskey.
friendly flight attendant Janet.
07112.
We're preparing for landing now.
Wind
So please ensure your
255
seatbelts
at
are fastened and your seats
Temperature
are in the upright
25.
position. I mean, you wouldn't want to give the captain another excuse to show off his questionable flying skills, would we? So, hold on tight, and let's hope he remembers how to land this thing.
Pudong Tower. Air
Final
China
fix
Freight 1042 heavy.
1,800
ILS
feet.
Yankee runway
Check.
36.
All aircraft be advised. Information Oscar is now current. QNH 1008.
China Freight 1042 Heavy, Pudong Tower. Continue.
Roger, Air China Freight 1042 Heavy.
China Eastern 9727. Exit right at Delta 5. Exit right at Delta 5. China Eastern 9727. Bohemia 246. Go around. Fly runway center line. Maintain 3,000 feet. Going round.
1,000 stable.
Center line. Maintain 3,000 feet. Bohemia 246. Bohemia 246. Contact Shanghai approach 120.3. Contact Shanghai approach 120.3. Bohemia 246. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Runway 35 left cleared to land.
Runway 34 left, clear to land. Air China Freight 1042.
No.
Landing.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy cleared to land runway 35 left.
Runway 35 left clear to land. Air China Freight 1042 heavy.
Approaching minimums.
Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 30. 10.
Speed brake up. Reversers normal. ICAS auto brake. 60 knots.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Exit left at Papa 6.
Exit left at Papa 6. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy.
Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Contact ground 121.7. Bye-bye.
Contact ground 121.7. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Bye-bye.
Negative. Ground on 121.7.
Shanghai ground, Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Request taxi to Shanghai
Pudong ground. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Taxi route to cargo 310 is Alpha 1, Charlie 6, Quebec 5, Lima 15.
Taxi to cargo 310 is Alpha 1, Charlie 6, Quebec 5, Lima 15. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy.
Pudong ground. Air China Freight 1042 Heavy. Taxiing to cargo 310 via Alpha 1, Charlie 6, Quebec 5, Lima 15.
Okay, Janet, how was the landing?
At 4. VFR conditions.
Oh,
Landing
Captain Mark,
runways 34
the landing
right,
was as smooth as a
35
tap on a
left.
hot tin roof. I mean, if you were trying to impress the passengers with your flying skills, you might want to consider a career in, knitting instead. Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to land, please ensure your seatbelts are fastened and your seats are in the upright position. And if you see Captain Mark sweating a bit, don't worry. It's just his usual landing technique. Thank you for flying with us.
Okay, Janet, we're taxiing to our final parking space. Just be a little patient.
Okay, Captain, I'll let them know to be patient, just like we are with your flying skills. Ladies and gentlemen, we're taxiing to our final parking space now. Please remain seated and keep your seatbelts fastened, unless you want to join Captain Mark in his next flying lesson. Thank you for flying with us.
Capped. Make sure you have a power source before you shut the engine down.
Shutdown checklist.
Shutdown checklist. Hydraulic panel. Set. Fuel pumps. Double check that, please. Flaps.
Up.
Parking brake.
Set.
Fuel control switches.
cutoff.
Weather radar.
Off.
Off. Shutdown checklist completed.
Thank you.